Welcome to The Explainer. So, you're thinking about adding a carport to your home in Johannesburg, right? You've probably been wondering what it really costs and how much hassle it is. Well, today we're going to break it all down for you, from the price tag all the way to the paperwork.
All right, let's just jump right in with the number one question everyone has. But as you're about to see, the answer, well, it's not just a simple number.
Exactly. You see, it's not just about the steel and the roof. The final bill is this whole mix of things. The materials you choose, sure, but also city-specific pricing and even what's hiding under your lawn. And then you've got Johannesburg's unique rules. So let's pull back the curtain and look at all of it. Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the sticker price. What should you actually expect to see on a quote for different carport sizes right here in Joburg? So for a single car, you're looking at a pretty big range. A basic entry-level design, that'll start you off around 28,000 Rand. But if you want something a bit more premium, maybe an architectural style, that price can shoot all the way up to 65,000 Rand. Now, what if you need room for two cars? Well, the investment is obviously going to be higher. A standard double carport kicks off at about 50,000 Rand. But if you're going for a full-on luxury custom job, you could be looking at something closer to 85,000. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. There's what you might call a Joburg premium. Turns out prices in the city are consistently 15 to 20% higher than the national average. So why is that? Well, it's a mix of things. Higher transport costs, tougher regulations, and yeah, higher labor rates. But here's the thing you absolutely have to remember. That first quote you get, it's almost never the final price. So let's pull back the curtain on those hidden costs that can really catch you off guard. For instance, a huge part of Joburg is built on rocky ground. What does that mean for you? It means you might need rock drilling just to get the foundations in, and that alone can tack on up to 8,000 Rand. And that's before you even think about wiring for lights, sorting out drainage, or paying the fees just to submit your plans to the council. All these little things can easily add thousands to your budget. All right, let's shift gears to the next big hurdle. And trust me, this one's a biggie. Navigating the city's building regulations, and they are notoriously strict. So you're probably thinking, it's just a carport, right? Surely I can skip all that red tape. But, well, the city has some very specific rules about what needs a formal sign-off. And here are the things that trigger it. Is your carport over 10 square meters? You need approval. Is it within 1.5 meters of your boundary line? You need approval. Or, and this is the real kicker, is it a permanent steel frame structure? You guessed it, you need approval. So let's be honest, pretty much any decent carport you actually want to build is going to need a formal application. And once you submit that application, well, you better be prepared to wait. The review process itself can take anywhere from 8 to 16 weeks. Yeah, that's up to 4 months before you can even think about digging the first hole. And believe me, trying to sneak around these rules is a huge gamble. The city can literally issue an order to tear down any unauthorized structure. And the fines? They can go as high as 25,000 Rand. It's not worth the risk. So with all these costs piling up, this brings us to a big question for a lot of homeowners. Should you maybe try to save a few bucks and build it yourself? Look, the DIY route seems really tempting on the surface, I get it, but you've got to consider the trade-offs. For one, you get zero warranty. A professional company, they'll give you anywhere from a 5 to 15-year warranty. Plus, have you thought about the tools? Renting all the specialized equipment you'll need can end up costing you thousands all by itself. And the real-world risk? It's huge. Pros will tell you they get called in all the time to rescue DIY projects gone wrong. And fixing those structural mistakes, it can end up costing more than double what it would have to just hire them in the first place. So what's the financial reality here? The bottom line is this. Once you factor in the tool rentals, the materials, and the high chance of making a costly mistake, most DIY attempts in Joburg end up costing 85 to 95% of a professional job anyway. But you're taking on all the risk and getting none of the guarantees. Okay, finally, let's talk about the details that really matter. We're talking about how getting the size just right can turn your carport from just another expense into a genuinely valuable, functional asset for your home. So, in Johannesburg, the recommended standard for a double carport is at least 6.2 meters deep. Why so specific? Well, it's all about accommodating the larger vehicles, the SUVs and bakkies that are so popular around here. It gives you that extra bit of room you need to open doors and move around comfortably. And here is a fantastic pro tip, a really great piece of advice. Whatever the length of your biggest vehicle is, add an extra zero point 0.6 meters to the depth of the carport. It sounds like a small thing, but that little bit of extra space makes a huge difference in day-to-day use. And it really adds to your property's resale value. Okay, so we've been through the costs, the hidden fees, the regulations, the DIY risks. After all of that, we have to ask the biggest question of all. Is it actually a good investment? And the data gives us a really clear answer. Yes, a quality, well-built carport here in Johannesburg typically adds between 65 and 85% of its cost right back to your home's value. This is an improvement that literally helps pay for itself over time. So, there you have it, the true cost and the real value. Understanding the full picture, from the sticker price to the hidden rules, is the key. A well-planned carport isn't just an expense, it's an investment. So the real question to ask yourself is this: are you just building a cover for the car you have today, or are you building future value for your home?